Today, we are diving deep into the astrology of love and connection by exploring the houses of Venus. So let's jump right in. Have you ever just stopped and noticed how everyone seems to love in their own unique way? Maybe you have a friend who needs constant affection and another who values loyalty above all else. Or what about that person who connects best through long conversations or even a big adventure? What is going on there? Well, in astrology, the answer to that really lies with the planet Venus. And, it's about so much more than just romance. Venus is what governs attraction, pleasure, and our deepest core values. It's kind of like a compass for what feels good to us, what makes us feel seen, and how we naturally show our affection. To really wrap your head around Venus, it actually helps to look at its counterpart, Mars. Now, Mars is all about action, right? It's about going after what you want. Venus, on the other hand, is receptive. So you can think of it like this. Mars is the one that pursues, but Venus is what attracts. It's this magnetic, drawing-in energy that brings connection and harmony into our lives.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We're going to journey through all 12 houses, and we'll do it in 3 parts. We'll start with our personal foundations, then we'll get into how we interact with others, and finally, we'll look at our bigger, broader connections to the world. And definitely stick around, because at the end, we're going to tie this all back to what it means for you.
Let's get right into part 1, houses 1 through 4. This is where we lay the personal foundations of our love lives. First up, we've got Venus in the first house. For people with this placement, charm is basically part of their identity. Their number one need is to feel appreciated just for being them. This usually comes out as this natural warmth that makes other people feel comfortable, like almost immediately. The challenge here may be depending a little too much on that external approval. Now let's move on to the second house. With Venus here, love and value are really intertwined. The big need is for stability and loyalty. So affection is shown through tangible, consistent acts of care. Like cooking a meal or giving a gift that has real meaning. It's all about building something that's going to last, where reliability is way more important than some fleeting intensity. In the third house, connection really kicks off with conversation. The deep down need here is for those intellectual sparks and some real, honest dialogue. Words, wit, sharing ideas, that's the language of love for them. So for this placement, you can forget the fancy dinner. A long, totally absorbing conversation is the most romantic date you could imagine.
And to close out our first section, we have Venus in the 4th house, where love really truly feels like coming home. The main need here is for emotional security, for a deep sense of belonging. Affection is all about creating a warm, comfortable space, like a safe harbor where trust can grow slowly and really profoundly.
All right, let's move on to part 2, houses 5 through 8. This is where we shift from our own personal stuff to our interpersonal dynamics. How we actually connect with other people.
So in the 5th house, love is just pure expression and joy. The need here is for passion, playfulness, and a whole lot of admiration. Affection is shown in big, dramatic, creative ways. This is the placement that absolutely loves to flirt, to give surprises, and to turn even the simplest moments into something totally memorable and exciting.
Next up is Venus in the 6th house, and here love is really an act of service. The core need is to feel useful and to get that support back in return. It's less about those grand romantic gestures and way more about practical, reliable help. For someone with this placement, remembering the little details of somebody's daily routine is a profound act of love. Now with Venus in the 7th house, partnership itself is the main event. The central need is for relationships that are balanced and equal. Love gets expressed through cooperation, fairness, and a deep mutual respect. For this placement, you're just happiest when the decisions, the responsibilities, and life itself are truly shared. Okay, now for the 8th house, where love is seeking depth and some serious emotional intensity. Superficial connections, they just are not gonna cut it here. The need is for true, transformative intimacy. Affection is shown through this unbreakable loyalty and a willingness to be emotionally vulnerable. Valuing honesty about deep fears and desires way more than any simple romantic gesture. All right, on to our final group, part 3, houses 9 through 12. This is where love really moves into the realm of what we call expansive connections. When Venus is in the 9th house, love is found through expansion and new experiences. The need here is for growth, exploration, and having shared beliefs. Routine can feel really restrictive. Instead, love is expressed through adventure and learning. So traveling together or discovering new ideas, that's what really strengthens the bond.
In the 10th house, love is deeply tied to respect and admiration. A huge need is to feel genuinely proud of the person you're with. Affection is shown through unwavering loyalty and very public support. What this means is that mutual ambition is incredibly attractive, and love can often grow from simply admiring a partner's accomplishments.
Let's move to the 11th house. This is where love often blossoms from friendship and shared ideals. The need is for connection, but within a larger community or a shared vision for the future. Love is expressed through companionship and collaboration. So it's really no surprise that for this placement, the person you end up falling in love with often starts out as a good friend.
And finally, we've reached the 12th house. Here, love is subtle, it's private, and it's deeply compassionate. The need is for an emotional and spiritual connection that really goes beyond the everyday. Affection is expressed quietly through empathy and understanding. For this placement, love is felt most profoundly in those quiet moments of silence or shared vulnerability. So, after that whirlwind tour through all 12 houses, let's get to part 4, what your Venus reveals. It's time to tie all of this together.
And really, it all boils down to this one essential idea. Venus reveals what your heart naturally moves toward, what feels beautiful to you, what makes you feel valued, and the way you invite connection into your life. At the end of the day, understanding your Venus is like finding the key to your own personal love language.
So what can you actually do with all this information? It's really simple. First, find your Venus house. You can do this with any free birth chart calculator online. Second, use what we've talked about here to understand the unique way that you love. And third, use that knowledge to discover what kind of connection really truly nourishes you.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. Understanding your Venus isn't just about astrology. It's about answering that one crucial question for yourself. What kind of love truly nourishes you?